Hello Internet, I'm David and this is the Pursuit Blog, and these are my 5 reasons why I think Jesus is awesome. Now given these are my 5 reasons, and I could list quite a few more, and I'm sure you could too, but if you don't think Jesus is awesome, then I'm sorry. On second thought, I'm not sorry. You can just get over it, at least this time. Let's start. Reason number 1, I think Jesus is awesome because he's holy. Now at the risk of sounding irreverent, Jesus is holy because he's got holes in his hands and feet and side. But the reasons he has his holes in his hands and feet and side is pretty awesome, because he was willing to go to the cross for me and you to take a punishment that is, there's so much that goes into why. That's beyond this video, but it's awesome. But on the flip side, Jesus was holy in that fact that he was perfect. He never sinned. He was a perfectly righteous human being. And now you may think that means you're perfectly boring. That's not the case. Not with Jesus. Jesus wasn't a holy roller. He wasn't a goody two-shoes. Everybody wouldn't hang out with Jesus. Even the dregs of society wanted to hang out with Jesus. And Jesus was known to go to lots of parties with these people. And the fact that people from all walks of life, even people who are living just completely contrary to the way he taught, wanted to be around him, that is awesome. Maybe we could take a page out of his book, the Bible. Reason number 2, Jesus was a people person. There was never anybody that Jesus turned away. Jesus loved people enough that though he was exhausted, he oftentimes would look at the crowds that flocked after him with compassion and would sit around and teach them longer. Or would look at the crowds and see how hungry they were and would feed them. Or would see how much they needed healing and would heal their disease. Jesus loved people, all walks of people, short people, tall people, people of different racial backgrounds. Jesus talked to people he wasn't even supposed to talk to in a culture that didn't like other cultures. Jesus loved people, and that is awesome. Reason number 3, Jesus wasn't afraid of anything. Sure, he was apprehensive going to the cross, but he wasn't afraid of the cross. He wasn't afraid of things that you and I are afraid of. I tell you what, I'm a bit of a germaphobe, not Jesus. Back in the day, leprosy was one of the worst things that you could possibly get, because it was a horrible skin disease that was highly contagious, and you were outcast from society. You did not want to touch a leper, or you were considered unclean. But Jesus put his hands on them and healed them. Loved them enough to touch them when they had not been touched in years. And they were healed. That is awesome. Jesus is willing to do things and go places that nobody else is. Reason number 4, Jesus was about justice. Now, we think that Jesus was all lovey-dovey, but Jesus stood up for injustice. He walked into the temple and saw people were making money. It wasn't just the fact they were making money, but that they were doing it in such a way, they were cheating people in exchange rates. And Jesus walked in and got mad about the injustice that was happening in the house of God. He took up a whip and ran them out, turning over their tables and everything. And we don't think about Jesus in that way, but it is awesome that he's willing to stand up for injustice where he sees it. And that's great when there is injustice that's happening against us. Let's just hope that we're not the ones that's causing the injustice, because Jesus takes that seriously. And that's seriously awesome. And lastly, Jesus loves people. He loves them enough to forgive them, which forgiveness is perhaps one of the most loving things that you can do to a person. And as Jesus is on the cross, he has spikes coming out of his appendages. He looks down on the people who put him there and prays over them, God, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Jesus is forgiving people, though he is in excruciating pain. He's forgiving the very people who put him there. That gives me lots of hope and assurance that he'll forgive me. And that is awesome. Bonus awesomeness. Jesus, we couldn't pay his taxes, He was broke. So he looks to his best friend when it came time to pay his taxes, and he looked at Peter and he said, hey, go fishing. The first fish that you will catch will have money in its mouth. I want you to take that money and go pay my taxes and yours too. Jesus tells his best friend, go fishing. It's tax season. Go fishing and get the spare change out of the local trout, and I'll cover your taxes with that too. That's awesome. As always, let me know what you think in a comment or video response. Maybe you can leave your list of why you think Jesus is awesome. And if you don't think Jesus is awesome, then that's not my fault, because I've tried. But let me know what you think. Like this video. Make sure you subscribe if this is your first time watching. And share it with your friends if you think it's awesome, that Jesus is awesome. And I will see you soon. Love you guys. God bless.